지금 시간은 2026년 2월 19일 오후 10시 13분입니다. Salty pizza sent Japanese student to hospital. Burned, damaged, or destroyed by fire or heat. It smells like burnt cooks in here. Messy, marked by or causing dirtiness or unitedness. I have a very messy desk. Though a mixture or flour, water, etc. used to make bread and pastry. Roll the cookie dough into bars, then flatten them with a fork. Confused to wrongly think that one person or things is another person or things. People kept confusing me for someone else at the party. Confirm, to say or show that something is correct or true. A high-ranking official has confirmed that the reports are true. Recover, to become healthy again after an illness or injury. You should avoid lifting weights until your arms is fully recovered. Salty pizza sends Japanese student to hospital. Many cooking mistakes might leave you with a burned dish or messy kitchen. But for a group of students in Japan, a cooking class ended with a trip to the hospital. The students from a junior high school in Fukuoka Prefecture were making pizza in their home economy class. They prepared the dough themselves, baked the pizza, and ate their creation together. However, after the meal, several students began to feel sick, and 6 students were so ill that they were sent to the hospital. The cause was simple. The pizza dough had far too much salt in it. The recipe the students were followed said 3 umami of the salt were needed for the dough. Umami comes from a verb which means to pick up small items with chopsticks or finger. In cooking, it has a meaning similar to a pinch, or in this recipe, 3 pinches of salt. However, the students who made the dough didn't understand the word umami, or at least how it's used in recipes. According to Kirikishu Board of Education, they added much more salt than the recipe needed. This is possibly because they confused the word of umami-gui. Which refers to eating food, for example, snacks or fruit, with your fingers. And while it wasn't clear exactly how much salt was added to the dough, the student may have thought the pizza recipe need 3 handfuls or of salt, not 3 pinches. Doctors later confirmed that the 6 students became ill because they had eaten too much salt. Thankfully, they have all recovered and are now in good health. And after this memorable cooking class, it's likely they won't forget the meaning of umami again. How many students were sent to hospital? Uh, how many students? Uh, 6 students were so ill that they were sent to the hospital. How much salt did the recipe call for? 3 pinch. Did all the students recover well? Yes, all students were recovered. What are your thoughts on this incident? Uh, Actually, this incident is the happening for the world, so we need to uh, uh, take care to understand the world when we make some food. Follow the uh, follow the recipe. How often do you make pizza at home? Never made. I never made the pizza from at home. When was the last time you ruined a dish? Uh, yeah, actually, yesterday I ruined my uh, ramen because I forgot the uh, ramen was made. So that ramen too uh, 라면이 불다. Get soggy. Get soggy. Okay. Next. Family Mart opens a cinema at Okinawa Airport. Delay. To do or make something happen later than planned or expected. Luckily, we didn't miss our flight even though the train to the airport was delayed. Domestic, existing or happening within a particular country. The check-in area for a domestic flight is on the other side of the airport. Convenience store, a small store that sells food and something household items. There's a small convenience store inside the gas station. Right. The legal authority to sell, publish, perform, etc. a creative work or product. Disney secured the rights to Star Wars in 2012. Past the time to do something enjoyable or entertaining during spare time. I always take a book with me to pass the time while waiting at the airport. Status. The simulation or condition at a particular time during a process. You can check the status of your flight using the airline's app. Family Mart opens cinema at Okinawa Airport. What do you do when you are waiting for a delayed flight? What do you do when you're waiting for a delayed flight? Walk around the shop, take a long lunch, sleep. Now, at Naha Airport in Okinawa, you can go to the cinema. And the best part is that you can make time for a film even if your flight isn't delayed. That's because the cinema shows a lot of short movies that only last about 30 or 35 minutes. It opened on October 1 last year and it only has 28 seats. It's on the third floor of the airport domestic terminal, but it's open to all travelers from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The cinema is called Faminchu, which is a nickname given to Family Mart store in Okinawa. The convenience stores chain bought the naming right to the cinema. Sora News 24 reports that a lot of the movies are from other countries, but there are also films about Okinawa. Tickets for shown movie cost only 1,000 yen, which is about 6.15 dollars. 6.50. For longer movies, the price is 2,000 yen, about 13 dollar for others. This is not the first time a cinema has come to an airport. There is already another one in Japan in New Chitose Airport in Hokkaido. There are another Changi Airport in Singapore and at Incheon Airport in Seoul. Watching movie while you wait may sound like a good way to pass the time. But you may need to regularly check the status of your flight to make sure you don't miss it. Questions. How many seats does the cinema have? 28 seats. How much do the tickets for short movie cost? 1,000 yen. What other airport in Japan already has a cinema? New Chitose Airport in Hokkaido. Okay. How three of the biggest companies got their names? technical, relating to technology and machines. I had to deal with some technical problem yesterday. Biography, a story of someone's life written by someone else. I most read the fiction, but I also like biography. Combine. To join or add two or more things together. Windsurfing combines elements of surfing and sailing. Software, a computer program. We had an interview today with a Harvard-educated software developer that went really well. Directory, a book or electric resource containing list of names, facts, etc., usually in alphabetical order. We have a paper phone directory, but I never use it. How three of the biggest companies got their names. Every great company needs a great name, a name that people remember. And that makes customers want to buy its products. But how did the world's biggest and most famous companies get their names? Apple. There have been lots of different stories about how Apple got its name. Some people believe it was named after the Beatles company Apple Records. While others have said that it was a way to be different from companies with more technical names like IBM or Syncom. However, in his biography, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs said that the name was inspired by his fruitarian diet, which is a type of diet in which a person eats mostly fruit, such as apples. Jobs said he thought the name sounded fun. Microsoft Microsoft founder Bill Gates and Paul G. Allen named their company by combining the words microcomputer and software. At first they called it Microsoft before changing the spelling to create the company name we know today. Other names suggested were Incorporated Inc. and Unlimited Ltd., but Gates said these were jokes. Amazon. Then, when Amazon was founded in 1990s. There was fewer websites on the internet than there are today. There were actually so few that many of them were collected on the web pages that were used as directories, similar to an old phone book. Because these directories were in alphabetical order, founder Jeff Bezos chose the name that started with a letter A so that his company would be one of the first listed. What type of diet was Steve Jobs eating when he came up with the name Apple? When the Apple company founded by Steve Jobs, uh, he was experienced the uh, fruitarian diet. What other names were suggested by when Microsoft was being formed? Uh, Outcorporated Inc. or Unlimited Ltd. was suggested. What did Jeff Bezos choose? Company name that started with A. Jeff Bezos want to his company would be one of the first listed. Okay. Japan's game sales up 40%. Japan's game sales up 40% in 2025. Console console. An electric device used for playing video games. The PlayStation 1 was first console I ever played on. Release. The action or of making a film, product, etc. available to the public. A film product, etc. made available to the public. Baby Yoda became a viral meme after the release of Mandalorian. Baby Yoda became a viral meme after the release of the Mandalorian. Unit, an individual item or thing. The Nintendo Switch 2 sold over 17 million units worldwide in 2025. Expect to think that something is probably going to happen. Our football training session went for longer than expected. Success, the achievement of a goal, purpose, wealth, or etc. A person or thing that achieve a goal, wealth, etc. Our coach always says that teamwork is key to success. Profit, money that a person or organization has gained, especially the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent. Profits for the first half of financial year are lower than predicted. Profits for the first half of the financial year are lower than predicted. Japan's game sales are 40% in 2025. Last year, people in Japan spent almost 40% more on gaming than they did in 2024. This is according to data from Japanese video game magazine Famitsu. People in the country spend more than 418 billion yen on video games and consoles during 2025. That's almost $2.7 billion. The Famitsu data includes in-store games sales and online sales, but it does not include online downloads. The release of the new Nintendo Switch was a big reason for the increase in spending. The Switch 2 was released in June. And by the end of the year, 3.8 million units were sold in Japan. Fans had been waiting a long time for a new Switch, and it quickly became the world's best-selling console. About 2.7 million people in Japan also bought Mario Kart World to play on the new console. Pokémon Legend GA also did very well on both the Switch and Switch 2, with more than 2.5 million units sold. The next most popular game was Monster Hunter Wilds for Sony's PlayStation 5, which sold almost 840,000 units. However, every other game in the top 10 was for Nintendo Switch or Switch 2. Experts expect Switch 2 games to sell well in 2026. A number of new titles are going to be released, including Resident Evil Requiem, which will also be available on the PlayStation 5. The success of the new Switch was good news for Nintendo. The Japanese company said its profits grew by 50% in the last 9 months of 2025. Questions: how much did people in Japan spending on gaming in 2025? Uh, around uh, around $2.7 billion. When was the Nintendo Switch 2 released? June 2025. Oh. How many units of the Mario Kart World were sold in Japan? About 2.5 million units sold. What are you surprised by how much people in Japan spent on gaming in 2025? Actually, I'm not surprised because uh, Japanese loves console games and they waited new Nintendo Switch uh, to long time, much long time, and additionally, too much many good titles for Nintendo Switch 2 is ready to release with the Nintendo Switch 2, so it is not a surprise for me. Did you expect the Switch 2 to sell so well? Actually, I very expected to buy Nintendo Switch 2, but I cannot buy Nintendo Switch 2 because I need to care my baby and family. Do you have a Switch 2? Would you like to get one? I don't have Switch 2, but I would like to get a new one, but I can't. Have you played any of the games mentioned in the article? Not yet. Do you know anyone who spends a lot of money on gaming? Yes, but I don't want to mention his name now. Japan's real wages fell by 1.3 in 2025. Wage. Wage. A fixed, regular amount of money a person is paid for doing their job. My hourly wage was higher in my last job, but I'm a lot happier here. Inflation. An increase in the price of goods or services. Inflation can be particularly changing for these on fixed income such as retires. Consumer, a person who buys goods and services to use. In recent years, there has been a rise in consumer demand for plant-based products. Gross domestic product GDP, gross domestic product GDP, the total value of all goods produced and services provided in a country in one year. The tourism industry accounts for around 15% of Spain's GDP. Negotiation. Discuss between people or organizations aimed at reaching an agreement. The relaxed atmosphere, the relaxed atmosphere of the meeting made the negotiations easier. Union, an association of workers in the trade industry or profession that protects and improves their right, working condition, etc. The trade union called for a strike after talk with management broke down. Japan's real wage fell by 1.3% in 2025. Though people are earning more money in Japan, their spending power is less, according to government data released on February 9. In 2025, the average amount people earn each month in terms of pure number of actual went up by 2.3%, rising to almost 356 yen, which is at present worth about 2,300 dollars. This is what is called a nominal wage. But it doesn't describe the actual value of a person's salary. If we look at how much inflation has affected the value of a person's salary, we get what is called their real wage. This shows how much they can actually buy with their money. And consumer price went up by 3.7% in 2025. Even more than in 2024, when they went up by 3.2%. So Japan's real wages actually fell by 1.3% in 2025. This is the fourth year in a row that real wages have gone down, as salary rises have failed to keep up with rising living costs. This is bad sign for a general economy. Because when real wages drop, customers spend less, and private spending make up more than half of Japan's gross domestic product. During the last spring's labor and management wage negotiations, known in Japan as shunto, major companies agreed to increase uh, nominal wages by an average of 5%, 39%, but 5.39%. This year's shunto negotiations are likely to focus on whether Japanese companies are prepared to rise real wages, not just normal wages. The country's largest trade union, the Japanese Trade Union Confederation, also known as Rengo, has said real wages should increase by 1%. But for now, the cost of living remains high and real wages continue to fall. What are your thoughts on Japan's real wages falling for 4 years in a row? Because inflation is too high, higher than wages increase ratio. When do you think real wages will increase in Japan? I don't know because I'm not Japanese. What living costs have seen the biggest increase in your country? Actually, housing cost is the biggest increase in my country. Is your town or city an expensive place to live? Yes, Bundang is very expensive place to live. How much would you say it takes to live comfortably in your country? Actually, almost to 20,000 $20,000 per month is enough to live comfortably in the Korea for 4 people. How strict? Okay, next. More global company using anime in ads launch to make something available to the public for the first time. Launched in 1997, Google is by far the most popular search engine in the world. Packaging. Materials used to cover or protect goods. The company is trialing used packaging in restaurants across the US. Suspicious. Having or showing distrusted or someone or something, causing one to think that someone or something to dishonest, dangerous, etc. He gave her a suspicious look when she explained why she was late. Storyline. The pilot of a book, movie, etc. The storyline was boring, but the graphic was very impressive. Endorsement. The act of giving public support to something or someone. Back in 2003, Serena Williams signed an endorsement deal with Nike worth $40 million. A scandal. An event or action that caused public outrage because it is morally wrong or illegal. During the Watergate scandal, President Nixon's team manipulated facts to cover up their illegal event. more global companies using anime in ads. Anime and manga are increasingly being used in advertising campaigns by companies outside of Asia, according to a report by the Japan Times. These art forms have become increasingly popular in countries around the world. For example, industry data has found that 1 in 3 TV viewers in the US watches anime at least once a week. Big companies are trying to use this popularity to their advantages. In 2024, McDonald's launched a WC Donuts campaign. This was inspired by fictional restaurant obscene in anime and manga. These restaurants are called McDonald's, have a golden W as their logo. In 2024, the real McDonald's introduced custom manga packaging, a special WC Donald sauce, and even released its own 4-part anime series. Meanwhile, US train company Amtrak has been making manga-inspired information posters and putting them up at train stations. Including one that uses manga-style characters to encourage passengers to report suspicious behavior. Our fans now recognize the characters and are invested in their storyline. Said abstract social media expert Nico Lopez. And it's not just food and trains. Fashion firms like Italy's Gucci and Germany's Adidas have both released anime-inspired products as well. So what is it about anime and manga that has been attracting global companies? Lauren Cole is the author of a book called Japan America, which explores how Japanese culture has gotten so popular in the US. He told the Japan Times that using anime and manga is a good way to attract younger people. Who may be less interested in the celebrity endorsements that were often used for advertising in the past. He added that anime and manga characters are attractive to company because they don't get older. They don't have scandal in their private life, and they can be used in any market around the world. Kerr thinks that in the years to come, more companies will take inspiration from anime and manga. Discussion. What are your thoughts on anime and manga being used in advertising? Anime and manga in advertising makes to closer and familiar with the customer. How often do you come across ads featuring anime or manga? I don't have any idea, but this is very uh, very rare in Korea, rare case in Korea. So rare case in Korea. So, but sometimes we can experience anime or manga style ads, but there are less than 10 times in for a year, I think. Do you find animated character more appealing than real celebrities in ads? Actually, Yuna Kim or Jenny was animated character in ads in my memory. What sort of advertisement usually catch your attention? Actually, advertisement for sports brands usually catch my attention. Why do you think anime and manga have become so popular outside of Japan? Because Japan's cultures were spread in the worldwide, so anime or manga style of ads is more popular than before. Okay. 그리고 only 1 in 5 Japanese adults use AI tools. Really? Tool. A device used to do a particular task, a thing used to help perform a task. We keep all our gardening tools in the shed. Experience. Knowledge and skill that has been gained by doing something for a period of time. Do you have any experience working with children? Level 25% on academic, social, etc. standard. 25% of participants had correct level education. 25% of participants had college level education. Concerned, worried of anxious, 뭐라고 해야 돼? Anxious. Worried or anxious about summons or something. I'm very concerned that the team won't be able to finish the project on time. Security. The state of being protected from harm or threat. For security reasons, Passwords must be changed periodically. Public. People in society in general. The museum opened to the public last month. Only 1 in 5 Japanese adults using AI tools. In many countries, AI tools such as ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot are becoming part of daily life. But in Japan, AI use is still surprisingly low. 2025 survey by a team from Chiba University found that only about 1 in 5 adults who use the internet in Japan had used AI in the past year. In the survey, fewer than 3,000 out of about 13,000 people, or around 21%, said they had used AI tools in the previous year. And the government study from 2024 got a similar result. Finding that 27% of people in Japan had experience using AI. This is much more than in other countries. The same government study showed that 81% of people in China, 69% in the United States, and 59% in Germany had used AI. A study also found that in Japan, men were almost twice as likely to use AI as women, and others aged 18 to 54 used 18 to 54 used it much more than people aged 75 and older. AI use was also more common among students and people with higher level of education. Among those who hasn't used AI, about 40% say they didn't feel they needed. Middle-aged and older people were more likely to say they didn't know how to use the AI. And many older people also said they were concerned about AI security. Meanwhile, the Japanese government has been clear about wanting more people to use AI. With plans to increase AI use among the public to 80%. What percent of Japanese adults had used AI in the year before the survey was done? Almost almost 21%, 21, almost around 21%. About what percent of people in China used the AI? According to the 2024 study, 81%. Who is more likely to use AI in Japan? Man. 여기까지.